Good morning, Prop Nation. It is another Drew Estate Tabak and Tech Tip Sunday, powered by Monster Energy Rehab and pancakes. Jessica made me pancakes this morning. This morning I want to talk about tools. You should always have the right tool for the right job. There are circumstances, very few, that you can use a tool designed for something else in the place of the correct tool. But you shouldn't do that. You should always be buying the proper tool. I have a stud finder, a really nice stud finder. They make cheap stud finders, but you always want to buy a good stud finder. I don't use my knife to strip wire. I have a pair of wire strippers. I have a drill driver instead of just a drill. I mean, I have a drill as well, but these are all tools designed to make a job quicker, easier, more efficient, if you will, and to do a better job of that. There are tools that you're going to come across on your car as you're servicing it yourself, and you may feel the need. We always come back to brakes, because brakes is one of the jobs that most traditional, or not true, most homeowners, most consumers, that's the word I was looking for, that's the job that they feel that they can do themselves because the job is overpriced everywhere else. And the job is not overpriced because they don't realize how complicated brakes can be, and just some of the tools that we use for brakes. People will get a brake caliper off and then want to realize that they can't push the piston back in because they don't have the proper tool. And they don't realize, how to properly push that piston in by loosening the bleeder screw and pushing that piston back in, so any dirt and debris inside that caliper doesn't go shooting back up into the lines into the ABS pump. Sometimes, and I've even seen technicians do this, when it's on the car, they'll take a screwdriver, a pry bar, and they pry the piston back in, so it's back in before you even take the caliper off. Big no-no. And some people will take an electric caliper off, and I've seen those things try to activate when it's off because you didn't go into your computer to disable the system, and that completely screws that up, and then they're having to put on, have it towed, and having a new electronic caliper put on. So those are all jobs, or that's a job that you definitely need some tools. You can get away with a basic C-clamp and a couple of wrenches on a lot of cars, but you definitely want to do your research if you're doing anything ahead of time. Something as simple as a cabin air filter, an air filter. If that's something on your vehicle that you haven't done before, do a quick Google search. Go on YouTube. Watch somebody else do it. Watch a professional do it, not just anybody. And then if they recommend a tool for that job, go out and buy that tool. I've said this to people, and they've been like, but I don't want to have to buy a tool to do one job. A lot of times you never know when that tool is going to come in handy to do another job, and using that tool in the means that it wasn't designed for. So like I said at the beginning, every now and then you don't have a tool, you don't have access to a tool, or the tools, in our situation as mechanics, every now and then we come across a job and it's like, you've never needed this tool before, this part has never broken, and you're probably never going to need it again. It does not make sense. I actually have turned away jobs. That tool is like $300. I'm only going to make $40, $50 on this job. I can't justify buying that tool because I've only seen one of these jobs or one component fail in like 5 years. So I would have to do so many more just to pay for this tool. So I'm definitely not going to do it. But you know what? I have this other tool. It's happened to come across. I'm like, you know, I think I can get this tool to work on this job. So go out and buy that tool. Most tools, automotive, mechanical tools that you're going to need for the jobs that you're capable of doing on your vehicle are not going to be that expensive. So if you buy one here, buy one there, after a couple of years, you'll have amassed a nice little collection of tools. Same goes for your house. If you're a homeowner, you definitely need tools. I could go on and on. A good hammer, a good drill. Don't buy cheap. You know, go with DeWalt, Milwaukee. Go with name brand. Buy the kits. They all take the same battery. You can start off with a nice kit for a couple $100 and then add pieces. I bet I have 15 different DeWalt tools that take the same battery. Like I said, I don't know how much these Ryobi's stud finders were, but I can guarantee they were 5 times expensive as the cheapest one on the market that you can also get, but quick, fast, and easy. Buy good screwdrivers. Buy good screwdrivers. Spend the most money that you can on a set of good screwdrivers. Like a 4 or 5 piece, you want to have some precision screwdrivers. I have Snap-ons here at the house for like precision work where I need sharp screwdrivers. And then I have, you know, Craftsman. Craftsman make good stuff. You know, there's a good number 2. FYI, you should have at least 6 good number 2 Phillips screwdrivers. So that's about all we got for today. Just don't start. If you started the job and you realize you don't have the correct tool, stop. I know sometimes people will plan, okay, this is Saturday. I'm gonna do this job on my car. I'm gonna spend the day doing it. Then you come to find out you don't have 1 or 2 tools. You either can't afford to go out and buy them, you can't afford, or you don't have anybody that will loan them to you. Stop. Wrap the job up. Do it another time. Because if you try and jerry-rig it and use another tool to do a job and you end up breaking a component, you never saved any money by doing it yourself and not going out and buying the proper tool. Now you're having the vehicle towed and you're losing all that time, all that money, when you could have just said, you know what, we're done. I'm gonna do this the next weekend, or I'm gonna do this in 2 weeks when I have the proper tools to do the job. And that goes for your car, that goes for your house, everything else. I cannot stress this enough, to have the proper tool. One other thing I'm gonna leave you with, start using your parking brake. We've had a rash of people coming in lately. Parking brakes don't work, cable seized, they use it, it broke. Every single day that Jessica and I pull in our driveway's flat. Maybe just a slight tilt to it. We pull in the driveway every night, we set our parking brakes. Every day. Every day for, I've been doing it 20 years. She's been doing it for the last 6 years that she's been with me. And you don't have to do it every day. Once a week, twice a month. When you come home at night, set your parking brake. That will keep that cable moving inside of the sheath itself, and you'll never have an issue with your parking brake. So, all right, cats and kittens, if you don't have a tool to work on your car, come see the fine folks at your local Tires Plus, your local Firestone Complete Auto Care, Hibden Tires Plus, Wheelworks if you're out west. Come in. If you have a question about your car, come into the back, talk to one of the mechanics, be like, hey, I'm doing this job. I need this tool. I know you can't loan it to me, but can you give me some advice on where to get this tool? We're not monsters. We don't want all your work. We're willing to help you out as well. So, or just message me personally. So, all right, cats and kittens, we'll see you next week.